What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and a lot of people been saying, Truth, have you seen that news about young Dolph? Somebody else that been arrested, indicted on charges about his murder. Can you take it to the board? Explain to us what's happening. We don't know. We thought it was killer's code. These type of cases seem to update every day. It's a culture. Nobody can talk. You got to keep your mouth closed. So, you got to dig in deep in these cases. And it seems like, people are explaining what happened in this case. We know Dolph. First thing we know about Dolph, he's a big time rapper. He's straight from Memphis, but he was actually born in Chicago. That's one of the reasons why we covered him. He actually was born in Chicago, but he moved from Memphis, did his thing, big time rapper. This is not like a little rapper. Even though he's independent, he's a big time rapper, okay? That's one of the first things I noticed about Dolph. You study his career, you understand that he grinded and blew up to get what he got. One of the first things that I noticed, though, I like to look at if they got diss records. As being a street reporter in the drill culture, I noticed a lot of shit that we see that stem in the streets, stem in the music game. Because it ain't really a music industry no more. This street shit, the music industry. So you playing in this music shit to get you killed, just like playing in the streets to get you killed. I noticed that. Not saying that's a good thing, but I noticed that. But I did notice for him to be a big rapper, making millions of dollars to be famous, he did engage in diss records. Okay? I noticed that. And some of the diss records he engaged in were aimed at Yo Gotti, okay? And CMG. Because there's a lot of people that's kind of targeting Yo Gotti, saying Yo Gotti had something to do with this. We're going to get back into that. We got to touch on this now. This is touchy. I'm a drill reporter. I'm a drill historian. My job is to bring you the news that's covered up. But I seen that, I had to go for the diss records because sometimes the diss records explains the neighborhoods you from, the beefs you got into, and the level of beef you into. You know what I'm saying? And then you do more research, you'll find that it's people dissing your famous rapper and telling you how their life was before they was big. So I got to doing that, and I seen a lot of this shit. I seen Yo Gotti responding back. I seen him responding back. Okay, so I said, damn, these are two big time rappers that's dissing each other. Normally, when two big time rappers are dissing each other and talking about hurting each other and shit, that's when you get something like the Rico. We seeing that right now with Wifey and Lucci and Young Thug. But that's some of what I noticed. I was kind of surprised that these guys were that famous to be involved in this kind of shit. But I did notice that Dolph was involved in a lot of shootings. Dolph had been involved in multiple shootings where he was actually the victim. Okay? He was involved in multiple shootings where he was the victim. It was once upon a time where people thought some shit happened to this guy. He survived and shot a video while he was shot. So we didn't see Dolph get in situations. We actually seen like over 100 shots. I think he even filmed a video called 100 Shots. I guess he thought that shit was funny, I thought it was a miracle that he survived from that, but I guess he was in like a bulletproof vehicle or something like that. He used his money the wise way. According to the police, though, okay? November 17th, okay? According to the police, November 17th, he was in Memphis. Okay. He was in Memphis, chilling. That's where he be at. He be in Memphis. I believe this was November 17th. I want to say 2021 that this happened in. Okay. He was in Maqueda's. I think that's how you spell it. I hope I got it spelled right. I'm sorry if I didn't spell it right. He was at Maqueda's Cookies. I guess they sell some of the best food and shit like that. I mean, some of the best pastries and shit like that, for your stomach and shit. This is a place that everybody out there know about. When you out there, you go out here and get some of your food. He was taking chances still coming to get some of this food because I guess this is where the best cookies and shit was at. So the police alleged November 17th, he was in Memphis at Maqueda's Cookies, getting some cookies and shit like that when a car pulled up. a stolen car. They said it was a Mercedes Benz. It had 2 people in it. Okay? They said a stolen car pulled up. Dolph getting the cookies and shit. A stolen car pulls up. It got 2 people inside of the car. A guy named Justin and a guy named Cornelius is in the car. According to the police, they bailed out. They started shooting at them. This is a big time shootout. They shoot from all kind of angles, right? All right. When you look in the autopsy, you look into the report. Young Dolph was shot over 22 times. Now this man wasn't hit 4 times, 5 times. He was hit 22 times, which means they had high-powered weapons, maybe semi-automatic weapons, maybe the switches, something like this, okay? He was hit over 22 times. These 2 people were actually caught. Police believe that there was more people involved, but these 2 people are the gunmen who they believe they were caught. Young Dolph was killed. That was the end of the story. It's done. Nobody is no more talking to this. It's done, okay? Next thing we know, about a couple days ago, a guy by the name of Hernandez Govan is being charged and indicted with the guy who caused the shot for young Dolph to be killed. So now they got the 3rd guy, okay? The 3rd guy. They said that this is the guy who caused the shot for Dolph to get killed. This is actually the father of Lotto Cash, okay? This is actually the father. Lotto Cash was actually shot and killed in Houston, Texas. I believe she was signed to Lil Uzi Vert. But she actually lost her life due to gun violence. So, it's the energy of something going on around here, I guess. He was recently picked up. Now, it's pictures of this guy in pictures with Yo Gotti brother. It's pictures of this guy who they say called the hit with Yo Gotti brother. Okay? Not Yo Gotti, but pictures of him and Yo Gotti brother. Okay? So that looks weird because Yo Gotti and Young Dolph was in the beef. These guys were in the beef. The guy who's called the shots to get him killed had a relationship with this guy's brother. So the whole shit looked weird. These guys here, some of these guys even knew Young Dolph. Some of these guys were seen in one of Young Dolph's chains. So the whole connection just seems backdoorish, okay? This whole motherfucking thing right here seems backdoorish as hell. The whole connection, this board is confusing as hell. It's just backdoorish as hell. When I look at this whole thing, because a lot of people still don't understand why Young Dolph was killed. What's the reason? Why did this happen? The police ain't really laid that out. They just laying out certain evidence and angles to let you know. This is why I want to talk to you guys. I gave you this information. You might have seen this. This is why I want to speak to you guys. In my opinion, Young Dolph was stalked like prey. I'm not sure if he realized, but it was guys laying on him. All that, they dropped the location. Dolph was spotted before this happened. Somebody was just probably waiting on the perfect time to pull up and do it. I'm not sure if Dolph realized, but he was just too damn famous to still be in that community. Boosie said it, most rappers die in their own city. I believe this was the perfect case of that. Dolph was one of them dudes who talked about his past. He talked about his life, the street shit, coming up in the streets. He got a past. He did shit in his past. He talked about this shit. He needed to leave to escape it. Staying there, it was no way to escape his past. That shit was still there. He still had to dodge that shit. Man had $1 million, still had to dodge shit. Still had to dodge shit going behind his back because he's still in these areas with people who wanted to harm him. This guy famous as hell. Somebody tracked his car down, shot his car up, all kind of shit. A lot of people instantly say, Yo Gotti. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of shit that does look a little weird, to be honest with you. But, I think he had other shit going on, too. I think this is to be continued because I'm not sure exactly who did this. But I'm going to tell you one thing. It just feels like, it feels like a hater. It feels like a hater, in my opinion. When I look at this case, man, it feels like a hater. It feels like he lost his life by the hands of a hater. The reason this guy called the hit allegedly, because it's still allegedly. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think it's something that was in Dolph's past. And I think still living in that same city, he didn't have no way to escape it. He still had to look behind his back. And I think that's kind of creepy too, to be honest with you. I think a lot of that shit creepy. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly who this guy is, but in order to kill somebody like that, this had to be a real bag that was placed on young Dolph's head. I believe it was a real bag placed on young Dolph's head in order to get them young people to move like that on young Dolph. Or it had to be some hatred shit, some shit from his past. If it wasn't a real bag, it got to be a real bag for some young men to waste their life to do some shit like that. It looked like it was daytime, so to risk your life in the daytime to do some shit like that, I think it cost a real bag to do something like that. And if it wasn't a real bag to do something like that, then somebody really wanted to get you. Which means something in his past that I don't think he was able to shake because he was still in the community. It ain't like Michaela's was in the upscale neighborhood. It ain't like it was in the suburbs in the neighborhood with all the rich people be at. A lot of street niggas go up in there. Dolph was true to it. He wasn't new to it. He was true to it. I think that's why he still was there. And to be honest with you, there's no disrespect, but it kind of feels like Dolph might have. Now, there's no disrespect, but I got to be honest. I'm a drill story and street reporter. It's my job to be honest. It kind of feels like Dolph might have still been involved. Now, I don't know involved in what. I ain't going to say gang shit, street shit, but it just feels like Dolph was still involved in things. And sometimes when you got 1 feet in, 1 feet in and 1 feet out, these type of things happen in my opinion. But it just feels like Dolph was took out by the hands of a hater, and it just feels like some shit that happened in their past. Whatever Dolph did, he ain't ran out with $20 million, then it wasn't no reason for you to be doing no shit like this. I believe some shit that Dolph did in his past, or some shit that people believe he did in his past, or some beef he might have had in his past, or some hating ass niggas he might have had some beef with in his past, or just some niggas he might have had some real beef with in his past. I think he wasn't able to shake it because he was still in that same community. I think Dolph is one of the lessons that you got to look at and say you cannot be in the hood. Sometimes you can give back too. You want to give back, I get it. Yeah, you want to give back to the hood, that's cool. You want to do barbecues and shit. You just did a barbecue. You invited your whole neighborhood. You done rented out the park. You done invited your whole neighborhood there. You brought all the celebrities, y'all singing songs and shit there. You wearing the designer shit. You thumbing through hundreds. You giving all the kids $50 and shit like that. You wearing them exclusive ass shoes and shit. Why you trying to look cute for niggas' baby mamas, boy? A nigga baby mama fuck around gonna catch a crush. The guys see that shit, you gonna fuck around, lose your life trying to be cool and cute out there, boy. It be like that. This shit get wicked. You'll lose your life giving back. Doing something good. Back in the day, as long as you mind your business, follow the right crowd, you'll be safe. Shit, nowadays you do that, a motherfucker still come try to blip you. But, in my opinion, I believe, a lot of this could have been avoided if Dolph wasn't in that city anymore. But you can't penalize the guy for wanting to still be to his city, get his money to his community, It's sad though. I think this is going to update. I can't give you more now because I do think this is going to update. There's more shit coming out, man, but shit getting wicked, man. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's telling me truth.